Hello and welcome to Module 5 of Real Estate Management. In this module, we shall be discussing property and agency law locally and internationally. That is the comparative legal system and real-world application. The module content includes overview of property and agency law, then property and agency law in Nigeria. We shall look at property and agency law in the United States of America and Canada, comparative analysis of property and agency law in the United Kingdom and European Union. We shall also look at property and agency law in United Arab Emirates, UAE, and that of Australia before we now draw a conclusion. Let us begin with the introduction. That is Introduction to Property and Agency Law. The foundation of legal system. It regulates ownership, control, and representation in transaction. That is to say that property and agency law regulates ownership, control, and representation in transaction of real estate. Why does it matter? 1. It is essential for business, investment, and dispute resolution. 2. It ensures fairness and predictability in dealings. 3. It shapes domestic and cross-border transactions. The module objective is to understand, compare, and apply principles across jurisdiction. Now let us begin with overview of property law. Property law governs the ownership, use, transfer, and protection of assets. The key elements include types of property. We have real property, which is land, building, that is land and its anything permanently attached to it is termed real property. Now, number 2 type of property is personal property, which is anything movable. Then we have number 3, intellectual properties, such as patent rights, corporate rights, etc. Another key element is property ownership and title, which could be freehold or leasehold. Freehold means permanently ownership, then leasehold, which can be lease. Then we have legal rights to use, sell, or lease. Then another key element is transfer of property, which include deeds, contract, and the registration system. The number 4 key element is land use and security interest, which involve zoning, easement, mortgage, and liens. Let us look at overview of agency law. Agency law governs the relationship where one party, that is the agent, acts for another party, which is the principal. Now the key element involves are parties involved. The parties involved in agency relationship is the principal, which is the property owner, then the agent who acts on behalf of the principal, and the third party, that is the person interacting with the agent. Now, creation of agent could be in form of express agreement, implied agreement, or by ratification. Duties of an agent include fiduciary duty, that is the duty of loyalty, care, confidentiality, and disclosure. Now, right and liability of an agent include right to remuneration, liability for negligence or unauthorized act. So these are some of the liabilities and rights of an agent. Now let us look at property and agency law in Nigeria. Property laws in Nigeria. The property laws in Nigeria include Land Use Act of 1978, which is the principal law that governs real estate business in Nigeria, which vests lands in state governor's hands. So the 1978 Land Use Act confers all land ownership to state government. Then we have registered land laws, which include title registration system. We have customary and common laws, which is plural legal system. The key is governor's consent requires for transfer. Now, the agency law in Nigeria is based on common law and Nigerian contract law. Example is Estate Agent Act of 1987, which regulates real estate agents. The duties include good faith, due diligence, confidentiality. Then the rights of an agent, as expressed by the Agency Act of 1887, includes right to commission and that of right to reimbursement, any expenses incurred on behalf of the principal. Now let us look at property and agency law in US and Canada. The US state property and agency law is mostly based on state government control. Some of the law include the property law varies by state. So it's the property and estate property and agency law in the United States of America varies according to different states. It is constitutionally protection, that is taking clause. Then the agency law include reinstatement that is third of an agency, which is based on respondents superiors applies. Then that of Canada is mostly based on common law province and Quebec civil law. It's also based on Torrance land title system, which is prevalent in Canada. Then another key element is indigenous land rights recognized by the Constitution of Canada. Then that of agency of Canada is similar to US. That is the Quebec uses mandate. Now let us look at property and agency law in the UK and that of European Union. Then the UK is based on common law tradition. That is, property and agency law in UK is based on common law tradition. Some of the examples of property and agency law in the UK include the Law of Property Act of 1925, HM Land Registry, which involves title registration. Then the agency law in the UK is based on common law and Estate Agents Act of 1979. Then let us look at the property and agency law in the European Union, which is harmonization approach. There is no unified property law in the European Union. Commercial and Agency Directive. So some of the agency law in the European Union include Commercial and Agency Directive of title number 86/653, European Union Council. So these are some of the agency law in the European Union, which standardize agency rules across member states. So the property rights is protected under European Union Charter. So the property and agency law in the European Union is protected under European Union Charter. Having known that, let's move further. Let us look at property and agency law in the United Emirates Arab and that of Australia. The UAE comprises a mixed civil and Sharia system, some of which include Federal Civil Code and Emirates level law. The number two key element is freehold limited to designated zones. Then commercial agency law of 2022, which is a strong agents protection and it is mandatory for registration. Then having known that, let us look at property and agency law in Australia, which is based on common law and torrent system. That of Australia is mostly state-based property law. Torrent titles also apply, which is state guaranteed ownership. So here, the state government guarantees ownership of properties in Australia. Then the agency law in Australia is based on common law and statutory regulation. Example, Property, Stock and Business Agent Act. Now let us look at comparative analysis of property law in different countries. Now let us look at that of Nigeria. The Nigerian jurisdiction, the system is common law and that of customary law. Then land registration, the governor's consent is needed. Then foreign ownership is restricted. Then in the United States of America, the system is state common laws. Then land registration, recording system. Then foreign ownership is generally open in the United States of America. Now in Canada, the system is based on common and civil law. Land registration is based on torrent title ownership. Then foreign ownership is open with some limits. Then in UK, the system is based on common law. Then land registration is based on HM land registry. Then foreign ownership is open to any individual. Then comparative analysis in the European Union, the system is based on national system. That is, it varies according to state, member state. Then land registration also varies according to member state. Then foreign ownership is varies. Then in the United Arab Emirates, the system is based on civil law and that of Sharia law. Then land registration is based on emirate level registry. Then foreign ownership is restricted to some zones. Then in Australia jurisdiction, the system is based on common law. The land registration is based on torrent system. Then as for foreign ownership, Federal Inland Revenue Board must approve foreign ownership. So Federal Revenue Land Board approval is needed for foreign ownership. Then let us look at comparative analysis of agency law in different jurisdictions. In Nigeria, the key legislation is the Estate Agent Act of 1987. Agent protection is moderate, then fiduciary duty is applied. In the United States of America, the key legislation is Reinstatement Agency. Agent protection is based on common law principle, then fiduciary duty is also applied. In the jurisdiction of Canada, the key legislation is provincial law and civil code. The agent protection is moderate, then fiduciary duty is also applied. Then in the UK, the key legislation is Estate Agent Act of 1979. Agent protection is moderate, fiduciary duty also applied. Then in the European Union jurisdiction, the key legislation is Commercial Agent Directive. Then agent protection is high, very, very high. Then fiduciary duty is applied, but in a harmonized manner. Then in the United Arab Emirates, the key legislation is Federal Law number 3 of that of 2022 Act. Then agent protection is very high, and that of fiduciary duty also apply under civil code. Now let us look at key trend and global terms. The convergence in agency standard. The convergence in agency standard include fiduciary duty is universally recognized. So fiduciary duty is universally recognized across jurisdiction. European Union and United Arab Emirates have strong pro-agent statute. Then under land registration system, shift towards the title registration, that is torrent system, and the UK model, that is torrent system applies in the United Kingdom. Then Nigeria retains consent-based system, that is the governor's assent must be recognized whenever property want to be transferred from one party to another. Then foreign ownership rule, United Arab Emirates and Australia have specific restriction that is for foreign ownership rule, US and Canada generally open with some limits. Then the impact on legal tradition, common law versus civil law, and that of a mixed system. In conclusion, property and agency law are shaped by history, legal, tradition, and policy. Core principle remains similar, but local variation matters greatly. Professionals must adopt a comparative jurisdiction-aware approach to avoid dispute and ensure compliance. For real estate and business, due diligence must consider local property and agents law. Agency agreements should comply with local statutory protection. Land registration system affect transaction speed and certainty. For cross-border transaction, understand foreign ownership restriction. Align agency relationship with local regulation. Example, United Arab Emirates registered agent is required. Consider post-Barrett changes in UK and European Union dealings. Thank you and God bless you.